Today, we are going to look at changing this application we made, Java AWT and JavaFX Swing, to the more modern JavaFX. We have created a menu demo JavaFX version of the program, and as you can see, it's blank. So we're going to add the code to change that. First, we're going to go into our properties, and under our libraries, make sure that we have javafx added to the class path. Make sure under compiling, we have compile on save unchecked. And under run, we want to have our VM options. In this application, we are going to be using javafx SDK 26. So we have to make sure that our module path reflects this. And we also have to list out all of the different features that we will be using from JavaFX. A list of them will be in the description of the video below. So first, we need to extend our application. We'll have to add our imports. Make sure we choose JavaFX imports. We put in our override public void start stage rows exception. Now we have to add our import for our stage. Sure, it's JavaFX. In our void main, take out the comment and put in here launch open bracket args close bracket. Now we will put in our global variables, private stage, primary stage, private. We'll be using a border pane in this one here. To add the import. Make sure it's a JavaFX import. We want to set our primary stage to be the stage that we passed to this method. We're going to set the title of the stage to be menu demo with JavaFX. Now we have to initiate our main layout. New border pane. Now once we have our layout, we need our scene. So we're going to declare scene, and we're going to assign it main layout. Don't forget your imports. We want the JavaFX scenes. Now we want to show our scene. Primary stage.set scene my scene, and then primary stage show. Now we'll compile this. And then run it. And we should see our application. Now we'll have to start adding parts to it. So there are a few things that we need to do to start. Number one, the application is way bigger, so we want to shrink that down, and our icon doesn't match. So let's look into getting those fixed. If we come down here to where we set the scene, we can change that to be our proper size. But let's do it the same way as we did. We're going to create a constant, private, static, final, int, default, width goes to 600, private, final, int, default, height equal to 600. So we come down to our scene. We're going to put in here default width and default height. Now we want to add the icon. We need to insert the code primary stage get icons add new image. This is different than if we use AWT and Swing, where we just had to put relative location of the image. We have to drill down to it. So in this case here, it's com//bore/resources/menu icon.png. Add our import. Make sure that we choose the javafx import. Now if we compile it and run, and we compare it to the other, they're roughly the same size, and you can see the menu icon and of course our title. So the next step is we're going to add a menu. So before we do the primary stage show, we're going to add a section. So first things first, we need to declare our menu bar. That's menu bar equals new menu bar. Don't forget imports, and we want the javafx imports. Now that we have the menu bar created, we're going to create the file menu. Now, if you remember from the original, we have the separator and exit. So menu file menu equals new menu. Add our import. Now remember, we want to choose the javafx import. Now we want to add the items to the menu. So we're going to create a menu item. Menu item. Exit item equals new menu item. And we're going to call it exit. Now we'll have to add our import. Now we want to make sure we choose javafx. Now we have to add our menu item to our file menu. File menu get items add all. Now we want to add our separator first. So that's new. Separator menu. And then our exit item. Add our import. Remember, it is a javafx import. We want to make sure that we choose the one that says separator menu item. And that's exit it. So now, create options menu. So that's menu, options, menu, equals new, menu, option. Now we'll create our items. Now if you remember from the original, we had radio items, a separator, and radio items. So we're going to do the same here. Radio menu item. I type 1 equals new radio menu item. And we had ours named talk picker. Don't forget our imports. We want the javafx imports. I'm just going to copy and paste it down. It's die type 2 and die type 3. This is standard dice and D20 die. Toggle group. And this is die group equals new toggle group. Add our import. Ensure it's javafx. To add these to the toggle group, we do the following. Die type 1 stat toggle group, and our toggle group is die group. And paste this. Two and 3. Now, we also had our die type 1 as our default type. So we're going to do the same here. Die type 1 set selected. So now we'll create the color options. So again, it's radio menu item color red equals new radio menu item red. And I'll just copy and paste this down. Green and color blue. Displayed message, green and blue. And we want to make a toggle group for this. Toggle group, color group. This is new toggle group, color red, toggle group, and its color group. Copy and paste it down. Should be green, and this should be blue. And then we have color green dot set selected. True. Color red dot set, and we're going to use disable. Color green dot set disable. True. And finally, color blue dot set disable. True. We want to add all of these items to our options menu. So we go options menu dot get items dot add all. And we're going to put them in order of how we want them added. So first, let's type 1, type 2, type 3, we're going to add our separator, new step per menu item. Then we're going to have our color groups, color red, color blue. Oh, no, we have color green first, and then color blue. Put there. In our original program, we have the help menu with about menu under it. So create help menu. So it's menu help menu equals new menu menu equals new menu item about. Now to add our mnemonics, if you remember, we had a mnemonic for help. So in this, we put an underscore help. And for the menu item itself, about item dot set accelerator. And we want to use the key combination. So it's key combination dot key combination, and we're going to use for dot plus A. Now we want to add the about item to the help menu. So it's help menu dot get items dot add, and we only have one item to add this time, so we just put in about item. Now to add these menus to the menu bar, it's just menu bar dot get menus dot add all, and we want to put them in order. So it's file menu, options menu, and help menu. Now to add the menu bar to our layout, it's main layout set top menu bar. I think we just need to add a mnemonic for the about as well. So we're going to compile this. Compiled, and we're going to run it. Okay, let's compare to the original. In the original, the exit menu would close the program. So we're going to add the same kind of code for the FX version. To do this, it is a little bit different. So event handler event. We're going to call ours menu event handler equals new event handler action event, and I'm just going to put in a comment here, event handler. Okay, now we want to add the imports. Make sure we choose the JavaFX imports. We have two to add. The first one is going to be action event, and the second one is going to be event handler. We want to put in here public void handle an event AE name equals. Now we want to get the menu item, get target dot get text. Now that should return the menu item name if exit is chosen. This application is terminated. Should add our override if name dot equals exit, which is the name of the menu, platform dot exit. Once we have the ME handler created, we'll add the ME handler to the menu items that we want it to be added to. Exit dot set on action ME handler ours is exit item. Compile. Now if we choose file, exit, it'll close the program. So we need to add the ME handler to each of the items. So let's do that now. I type one, set on action, ME handler. And I'm just going to copy and paste it down. And I type capital T and 3. Then the next ones we had are our colors. So we'll copy it down one more time, and we'll change this to color red. Copy, paste it, and we'll change this to color green and color blue. And the final item that we had is our about menu. So we're going to add about item on action, and that should add an action listener to all of our menu types. We're going to do a switch based on the name. In our first case, it's going to be exit. And if we get that case, we're going to want platform.exit. And because we don't want any other code to run, we'll force a break. Just put in our default break. So if we were to run this now, and we chose exit, it would close the program. So let's get the rest of our cases in here. So our next case is going to be stock ticker dice. And we're going to choose color red dot set disable, color green dot set disable true, and finally color blue dot set disabled. We'll add in our break. We'll add the next case. Standard dice. Now for this one, we want to re-enable all of the colors. So we want to set all of these to false. Okay, and I'm just going to copy and paste this down and change the text to D20 die. Now if we compile and run this, so with stock ticker dice chosen, the colors are disabled. If I choose standard dice, the colors are re-enabled. So there was a typo with standard dice. I've removed the hyphen and now it's working. So if I choose standard dice, the options are now available. If I choose back to stock ticker dice, the options are no longer available. If I choose the D20 dice, the options are re-available. And I can choose red, blue, or green. So now we will add cases for our colors. And I don't have anything for them yet, so we're just going to put a break. Case green, break, case, blue, then break, and finally the last thing to worry about is the about menu. And break. With this, all of our menus are set up. And if we look at the original programming, so at this point, our menu structure is set up. We have our exit menu, we have our exit menu, we have our option menus, we have our option menus, and they work the same way. Standard die, standard die. We see our colors, we see our colors. We go back to stock ticker dies. The colors are disabled. And then we go to our D20 die. The colors are re-enabled. D20 die. The colors are re-enabled. Our help menu. We have our mnemonic. And we have our quick key set up. We have our mnemonic and our quick key set up. The difference is you can see the underline for the H and the A. But for this, you don't see the underline. We just need to add the functionality. So as we did with the JavaFX swing and AWT menu, we added dice to the JavaFX. So you can go in and change it to the different dice. And as you can see, the colors will change as we choose the different colors. If we choose our D20, we can change the color of that. Dice, back to the stock ticker dice, and we also add the functionality to the roll button. So now the last thing to do is to add the about menu. So we want it to look similar to this. With Swing, we can open up another window. With JavaFX, we can't. We can, however, open up what they call pop-up window. So let's look at what we need to do to make this pop-up window work. So first, we'll go to our event handler, where our about menu. Now, in order to get this to work, because we are using a mnemonic, we have to include it exactly as it was written. So we put the underline beforehand. Now, like I said, we're going to create a pop-up window. So we need to create a new stage. And I'm going to call it about menu. Next, we are going to make it so that you have to do something with the about menu. You can't leave it open. So to do this, use about menu init modability, and we want modability set to application modal. When this is open, you won't be able to access the primary window. We want the primary window to be the owner of this pop-up. To do this, we set the owner be the primary stage. Now we're going to set up our about scene. So if you look in our original programming, it has an icon, title, and we put in a label. Let's get our title created first. New label, nice explanations. Now we're going to set our preferred size. Our width of the original window was 500 by 600. So we want this title to be at least 500 by 50. And we want it centered. We want to set our alignment to center. We want our window to be 500 by 600. So let's create our scene. We're going to call it about scene. New scene. About layout. I missed a step up here. We want to set our border pane. About layout. Equals new border pane. Now we can set our scene to be about layout, and we want our size to be default width minus 100. That'll give us our 500, and we want our default height. That would give us our size of our layout. We want to add our label to our layout. So it's about layout. Set top. And we're going to add title. Now we want to add an icon for this. So we're going to use about menu dot get icons. Add new image. And we're going to use for resources e20.png. Menu. Now we're going to set the scene, and we're going to use the about scene we created. And finally, about menu dot show. So to add the title, you go about menu dot set title javafx dice or die explanation. That should add a title. We'll compile it. And we'll run it. And we'll put these side by side again. So the help menu for the original would look like this. Help menu with javafx. Yes. Now, since we set the modality to application modal, this has to be handled before you can do anything else. Over here, you can come over, roll the dice, and this could be hidden in the background. But once we close it, it disappears, and we can do whatever we want. We can roll the dice. But then we bring up the help menu again, and as you can see, got the icon, it's got the title, and it's got our title labeled. That's about menus. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider giving it a like and drop a comment.